Well, all right. All right. All right. And all right. Well, some changes around here. Like brother saying they moved my live presentation to where I was supposed to come in, and I don't see it. I don't see myself. I don't even see the. Oh, there it is. Hold on, let me go up. Scene one. There we are. All right. It was just strolled down there. How y'all doing? Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. My brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, Pastor Dowell here this morning. How y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Hope everything is going fine. Florida say they doing fine. Indiana's doing fine. Hallelujah. Where y'all at? Where y'all chiming in from? Give us your location. Let us know where you're chiming in from. We got a few things we're going to speak about here this morning. And of course, you know, the whole purpose of the Straightway Truth is to bring edification, exhortation, and comfort. But not only that, is to make sure that we remain in reality. Even though that the world around us is choosing to trying to force its paradigm and to force its way upon us as a people. Houston, Texas, Indiana's in the house, Ohio. They're coming in from everywhere. Kansas City, Newport News, Virginia, Mississippi. We'll come Trinidad. Trinidad's in the house. Ohio, Arlington, Virginia, Arizona. Glory, glory, glory. Y'all keep bringing it on in. Let me know where y'all coming from. Nice to know that we're being heard. And the things that is being said here. New York. We got a few things we're really going to talk about here. Finland. Sister A, they are in the house. Hey, we got to get with y'all because I owe y'all. I believe your husband wanted some crypto. We got to get you some cryptocurrency. Clarksville, Northeast. We got Houston, Texas. Texas all over the place. Dallas, Rosenberg. Texarkana, Texas. New Jersey, Oklahoma. Man. They're coming in. Not only within the CONUS, Hattiesburg, Mississippi, United States of America, but also outside of it. Hallelujah. Brother Samuel's there moderating. All right. Well, we definitely got a few things that we're going to probably, more likely, end up upsetting quite a few people. If I'm coming in good and y'all can hear me clear, give me a 10. And let me know 10 is the best as far as clarity go, and 1 all the way down to the worst, and then of course you make up the hedge in between. Corpus Christi, we're all over Texas right there. Elder Rufus is in the house. Glad to see him there in the wrench. Appreciate everybody's participation. Y'all go ahead and let everybody know on Facebook and other social media apparatuses that we are online. We're simulcasting here with Straightway Truth Live as well in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So, hey, got a few things to discuss. As well as just us within our own selves. Things that we need to concentrate on. I did tell y'all that wood prices are declining, and they are declining just like I said they would, right on time. And they're still haven't declined to the level where I actually want to go out and buy a whole bunch of wood. So I'm still going to wait it out until the time coming in. Looks like we got our, I don't know what there it is. Looks like this thing is turning colors on me, so we're just going to put it on one color right now. London is in the house. Wow. Man, sure is nice to have all y'all here listening this morning. And are y'all spreading the word? Because, I mean, I hope I'm under no illusion whatsoever at all. And I don't want to be under any illusion whatsoever at all. But it seems like to me that when I look around and I see everything that's going on in the world, especially socially, politically, economically, religiously, it seems to me that everything that I'm looking at, the world is trying to force us into a social construct. We're already being censored on an unprecedented scale and level. We really, truly are. And that's sad to be censored on an unprecedented scale and level, because right now, freedom of speech here in the United States of America is definitely under attack. And I just tell you, sometimes I got to pinch myself, because when I wake up in the morning and I get finished with morning devotion, and I look at I see what's going on in the world, especially concerning the news, I literally got to pinch myself to make sure that I'm living in a reality. I think that the whole United States of America and the mindset of it is a mental disorder. If you think that my assessment is right, type in the word yes, because we want to make sure that everybody's kind of proactive here in this chat room right here. I think that everything is a mental disorder. I think that what the prophets have said a long, long time ago, that the time would come that good would become evil and evil would become good. I mean, I'm here. I see it. It's clear as day. I didn't ever think that it was ever going to be a reality. I didn't. I never thought that we would actually see these times. It would have never, ever registered with me whatsoever at all. But we're here. And what we have to do, believe it or not, is we have to actually fight to keep our to keep our sanity. If you choose to donate, Cash App, Super Chat, PayPal, I'm sure that the moderators will put a description in. There's always some places there on the YouTube channel in the description box down there below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Well over 50% of you that actually even follow and listen to Pastor Dowell on a daily or weekly basis are not even subscribed to the channel. And I can't understand that. Why would you not want to be subscribed to the channel when you don't, even if you don't like, listen, let's try to bring about some maturity here, okay? There are a lot of things that I do not like about people. And I am sure that there are a lot of things that people do not like about me. I'm almost certain of that. But I do not let those dislikes get in the way of having a proper relationship, because most of them are just personal preference, personal opinion. That's what most of them are. And so when we realize that this is what's going on, we have got to stop living in our feelings. We must stop living in our emotions and get with this reality. Are y'all here? Is he asleep? Oh, he's up, huh? Let me bring him over here so I can get him to say hi to the listening audience here just for a moment. We on live. We on live. And his Kaya has been out early this morning, so he's going to come on here and say hi to everybody. You see him? Say hi. Wave, his Kaya. Wave to everybody. You don't want to wave to everybody? Wave. Tell everybody hi, and we'll let you get on with your busy day, okay? And we know you busy. All right. So anyway, this guy says hi, and now he says bye. All right, so see you later, dude. Go on there and listen to Dad. Pull up champ. I said pull up champ. We're literally in the fight for sanity. I said at the elders table this past Shabbat, I said, I got reports from all the other places, all the other communities, home fellowships, And this last message I was delivering, everybody's rejoicing and stuff, but here at the hub, man, I was like, man, there's a spirit of slumber on this place. I don't know what is going on, but there's some kind of spirit of slumber. But anyway, everything that we know to be reality and what we know to be truth is under fire. It's under fire in a bad, bad way, and it's sad. It's extremely sad how things are so much under fire. I realize that right now a lot of people are at work and they're not able to listen, but they're probably going to be able to catch the rebroadcast. But I tell you, can we all agree that that words have a meaning? Can we all agree with that? That words do have a meaning. And can we all agree that with words having a meaning, that we don't need to live in a land of make-believe? I mean, I'm sure we can all agree with that, right? Because today, the paradigm and the narrative that they're trying to force upon us is that we live in a false reality. We live on Earth. We don't live on Mars. So just because someone says, I believe I live on Mars, it doesn't make it a reality. There are concrete constructs to things, if you understand what I mean. There are some things that just simply is a fact of statement and it cannot be changed. And it's sad that I even have to come on here this morning and actually speak to us this way, because some of us are even questioning, even in our own minds, what's reality and what's make-believe right now. I mean, we don't know what's absolute. We're having a hard time figuring out abstract from concrete. And it's sad. It's sad. We have transformers out here that I personally believe is a flat-out mental disorder. I flat-out believe it. But we all have got to come to a reality. Just because you feel a certain way, it doesn't make that feeling so. And when I mean feeling so, okay, just because you're feeling bad, that doesn't mean that the whole world is bad. Is that making sense? All right? Just because you're feeling good doesn't mean that everybody in the world is feeling good. But boy, when you're trying to transcend and make everybody feel what you feel, that's a serious problem right there. So we live in a society where here in America, the United States of America, they want us to pretend that we do not live in a reality. They want to make people feel comfortable. Yeah, real comfortable. And when you refuse to participate in their reality, they say that you are a menace to society. Now, this is broke. This is seriously broke. Oh, and by the way, let me say hi to my mom. I see Sister Manners doesn't chime in. Hi, Mother Dowell. How you doing, Mom Dowell? My mom is 82 years old now. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. But I personally am not, I'm just simply, I've got my own line in the sand too. Since everybody is worried about infringing on everybody else's rights, why should we diminish what we know, what reality is, in order to accommodate somebody else who we believe to have a mental disorder? And they're trying to force that narrative upon everybody. I just simply cannot participate. And I will not participate in any way, shape, fashion, or form. Period. It's all right. So now we've got a world where they're trying to force us again. Everything is by force. You see, because if it was something of your own free will, to where you could actually accept it because you choose to or choose so, then it wouldn't have to be a force put behind it with disciplines following, if you understand what I mean. I mean, right now, they're trying to make sure that we say nothing about COVID-19. They don't even want us even to mention it whatsoever at all. And that's sad. So you can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. And now they're trying to tell you what you're doing. I can get on here all day long and say, listen, I am not a medical doctor. Neither am I in the medical profession. But I do have an opinion. And they will charge me for practicing or giving forth misinformation. And I tell you, if you want to know what I got to say about this, you go over my Patreon, and I lay it to the line this morning. I did. I had a video over there on Patreon. You choose to come and join up on Patreon. I laid it to the line this morning. And you know the reason why? Because I don't have to worry about being censored over there. I have a listening audience, and I pray that it grow each day. And the reason why I pray that it grow each day, because I think I'm a litmus test. I think I literally am a voice in the wilderness that constantly keeps a defibrillator on our mind. I constantly shock us to make sure that the reality that we're in, that we know that we're in, and what we should believe is the truth. And we're not trying to concede. We're not trying to capitulate. We're not trying to acquiesce. We're not trying to bend over. We're not trying to form and conform to this force paradigm that they're trying to give us. And they're doing this in every single aspect of life. To now that people even are afraid to say something. Now you tell me that does not sound like communism. Tell me that. Because in a communist country, you don't have freedom of speech. In a communist country, you don't have freedom of religion. The government is the religion. In a communist country, you don't have freedom of expression. You actually walk around mind numb like a bunch of mindless minions. And you better not say anything against the government. Better not. You better not. So now they want us, who've actually grew up in these school systems, understanding the etymology of words in the English language. Now they want us to change the definition to the way we learn what a noun and a pronoun, an adjective, a verb, and an adverb, all of that is. They want us so confused now that even a prepositional phrase is under attack now. I mean, who in the world can pass an English test nowadays? If we follow what society is trying to cram down our throats, who can actually do it? You know, it's no shortage that there are all kind of talk shows. Now listen, just because somebody has 1 million subscribers on YouTube, that means that those subscriptions or those subscribers are suspect as well. Because a lot of times it's a bunch of foolishness, it's a bunch of rhetoric. You're not going to get too many subscribers out there when you're telling the truth. And if you do get a lot of subscribers because you're telling the truth, that's because a bunch of other truthers told other truthers about the truth that is being told. And that's, you know, whether you like it, comprehend, understand a lot of things about me. If there's a lot of things you don't like about me, listen. If I was to run for president of the United States of America, there are things that could be a deal breaker, a game breaker for you, but it has nothing to do with my politics. My politics could be bang on. My politics could be spot on. But because I have a certain way I believe religiously, but because I have a certain way that I believe sociably, but because I have a certain way I believe economically, that could be a deal breaker and a game breaker for you. In other words, you can't, there will never be a candidate that will run for president of the United States of America that everybody will agree with. Just not all the way around. There's just some things that we simply are not going to agree with. One thing I do hope that we all agree on is that we agree on truth. Something has to be an absolute. Something has to be true. Something has to be a lie. Something has to be make-believe and pretend, and something has to be a reality, and it has to be real. I'm not going to live in a land of make-believe. You going to live in a land of make-believe where we have to set up and appease people conscious because they want to be identified by certain pronouns. I'm not saying I will call you by your name. I will call you by your name. That way to keep offense down. And that should be sufficient enough. I will call you by your name. And I think that in itself, I think that's a great respect to call someone by their name. Now, hey, believe you me, I understand. And let me move my camera, my monitor around while I'm monitoring the chat there, that this may be too difficult for a lot of people. But we have to ask ourselves a couple of questions. Are things real? Yes or no? Are things real? And are there concrete truths? Now, if we have to get into a debate over just answering that right there, because we feel like if we answer that we're actually putting ourselves in a position of compromise, we got problems already. If your mind does not match your body, you need deliverance. In a major way, you need deliverance. I am a man. It's not because I identify as one. It's the reality of, you can look and see I'm a man. I promise you that I am a man. And as a man, I can't get pregnant. Don't want to be either. So, just because somebody wants things to go away, that does not mean that it's just going to go away. Just because they want it to go away, it does not mean it's going to go away. I don't know where you may stand, where you're at, but there's just certain things, and there's some things in this world that I personally I just cannot compromise on. How about you? Are you a man and woman of truth? Yes or no? Yes or no? I just want to know, are you with this social construct? I want to know that. Are you with this social construct? I ain't. I just want to know if you are. Again, I think we done pretty much laid that in. Now let's go into arguments. The other day, and it's crazy, okay, I'm out. And we're waiting in line, and there's a conversation going on here. And the conversation is about equality. And of course, equality is, in the military. I had nothing on to identify that I was in the military. I wore no shirts talking about U.S. Army Airborne. I had no jump wings on. I had no air assault wings on. I didn't have none of this stuff on, okay? I had nothing on my person that you could look at me and automatically associate with me being a veteran. Now, I may have a mannerism or something like that. So anyway, we're sitting up here in line, and then, of course, somebody asks, you a veteran? And, of course, I say, yeah, I'm a veteran. And then, of course, a lot of times when veterans ask you where you served and what you've been in, a lot of times it's a test question. They're testing to see. It's like the other day, I saw a guy wear a Ranger hat. I said, you a Ranger, huh? He said, yeah. I said, really? I said, you're a Ranger, huh? You are a Ranger. Mind you, this guy couldn't have been no more than 24 years old. A civilian, fat, big beard. He said he was a Ranger. All right? And so I proceeded to ask him a couple of questions about being a Ranger. And he gave answers. I want y'all to hear what I said. He gave answers. The cashier looked at me because I didn't want to engage in telling him how wrong he was. But the cashier looked at me and says, did he give the right answers? I said, no, not a one of them. He did not give a one of them right. She says, now, isn't that something? Listen, that's just, I'm trying to get us in on a reality of something. Just because somebody have their own false reality, and this man believed himself to be a Ranger, that doesn't make him a Ranger. You can wear a hat and have it in your mind that you was a U.S. Army Ranger. That doesn't make you a Ranger. See, when someone has a tab, that means they've been to Ranger school. That doesn't mean that they actually been in the division where the Ranger scroll was, that they actually served in a Ranger unit. And so I asked him a bunch of questions, and matter of fact, the question, by the time I got finished, I had already assessed and that he wasn't even ever in the military at all. There could have been somebody in his family, but for him to flat out lie like that, you have to understand, these are people's reality. And they believe this stuff. And mind you, we live in a world now that if you believe something, they don't want you to check a person's reality. They don't want you to call them a liar because that's how they identify. The guy could identify as a Ranger all day long because it's in his damn mind, but I can tell you flat out, he wasn't even a Ranger. As a matter of fact, he didn't even go to jump school. As a matter of fact, after the line of questioning, because he was getting very uncomfortable, when I started questioning him on a bunch of stuff, he finally, after about 6 or 7 of them, just got out of there. You could tell he was visibly frustrated. It is stolen valor. Didn't even serve at all. I got to the assessment. I come to the assessment, he didn't even serve at all. But yet and still, in his mind, he's a U.S. Army Ranger. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I said, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. And I'm like, wow. Is this what we've come to in this world today? Is this what we come to in this world today? I mean, people will argue about a whole bunch of stuff. But me and a couple other veterans, we had some discussions in there. And, of course, they are visibly upset that they want gender-neutral units in the Army. You know, when I was in 82nd Airborne Division, the only time I ever saw a woman paratrooper is when I went to do paperwork. You know, she was either in supply, she was either a rigger, or she worked at PAC or something like that. But never, she wasn't in the infantry units. She wasn't even in the signal battalion. Wasn't in none of that. I didn't see her. I didn't see no women in engineers. I just didn't see none. 5.5 years of being in 82nd Airborne Division when I was down there. I saw women paratroopers, don't get me wrong, but I did not see women infantry. I didn't see it. I saw no women commo. I didn't. None whatsoever at all. I didn't see it. And I know the reason why, because they, at the time I was in, they couldn't do the job. But now, I said, isn't that amazing? They want women to be Rangers, women to be Special Forces, and all this old other stuff. Women to be, I mean, it's just utterly amazing what they want women to be. And then I thought to myself, I said, why is it that if we want all this gender equality all the way across the board, and we want it in the military, why don't we just go ahead and make a clean sweep and put it in everything? When are we going to see a woman jump into an octagon, same height and same weight as Conor McGregor, and get in there and mix it up in mixed martial arts? I mean, after all, they're doing this in track in high schools. They're trying to introduce this into the Olympics. Why not we just do it all the way across the board? Why don't we just put women in the NBA? Why don't we just put them to fight in boxing, professional boxing? Why don't we just get a big old woman in there and fight Tyson Fury? I mean, after all, there's no us. I mean, there's us and them, he's and theys and us and all this other stuff. I mean, you see, all this stuff is nonsensical. Every single bit of it is nonsensical, but yet and still, this is what they want us to accept. And I'm telling you, if we don't separate from this society, because they're getting the children young in these public food systems, and then some of these children are going on to so-called higher education college, and they're really getting destroyed mentally. if we do not separate ourselves from this present society right here, and of course, one way I say is, you know, if you want to get a good job, a good paying job, you'll be away from people a lot, but you'll be, get a good trucking job. Make a lot of money. Truck it right now. Truckers move America. But man, I tell you, if you don't want your children growing up confused, we have no choice. Especially those of us in the faith, but to separate ourselves from the people of this world. We've got no choice. Because they want this thing all mixed up. Every single bit of it. They want it all mixed up. Arguments. Does Black Lives matter? Well, I believe that Black lives do matter. And of course, that is a loaded question. But you can't sit up and tell me that Black lives matter when you hear all the people that are dying in Chicago and New York on a daily basis. How can we get everybody out here to respect the fact that Black lives matter when we're murdering each other on the streets on an unprecedented level to a tune like it's never, ever been seen before ever since the Biden administration has been in? And by the way, in the news, whatever happened to the border? I mean, are the people still coming across the border? Are they still invading the country through the border? I mean, the news just seems to die down on that. But don't sit up and tell me that when you live in a depressed city that deals with economic depressions, that full of drugs that the black people didn't put there, but the black people are selling it to each other, don't sit up and tell me that there's not something going on in this country, a concerted effort to be able to destroy a people. Don't tell me. I mean, we should have figured out by now, especially when you look at the national debt clock and everything else. Look, governments do not make money. Okay? Governments only mess up stuff. If they would just move out of the way and let the private sector get in and get to work, where people can have their own businesses and stuff like this, and hey, think about it. We could prosper in this country, but they won't move out of the way to keep giving out more free money. And anytime you don't give anybody any incentive whatsoever at all to work, they're not going to work. And there's going to be an entitlement mentality, a welfare mentality, and it's just going to be our reality in the daytime and hour we're living in. Now, New York of all places, one that has the most stringent gun laws on the book, New York of all places, is now considering constitutional carry because of the amount of people, children being shot while they're riding their bikes, carjackings at red lights, stray bullets flying all over the place like Dodge City. I'm telling you, they are now thinking about implementing constitutional carry in New York so that people could protect themselves, because there's just simply not enough police to police the people. And people are ultimately responsible for their own protection. I mean, over in Washington, D.C., just this year alone, in Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, over 300 and something, and I could be on the liberal side of that, but over 300 something police officers have quit. Done. And police officers are quitting left and right all over the place. It's something. Yeah, it is. It is a pandemic. It's an epidemic. And I talk about a pandemic over on Patreon this morning too. And I tell you, I see clearly what's going on, and the Father knows that I speak to people who want to listen and want to learn. I speak to them in such a manner, in such a way, that I want them to get it. I want them to prosper. And I want you to be able to raise your families in a responsible, reliable manner. But you can't do that when you're up against so many obstacles. And a lot of these obstacles that we find ourselves up against is simply because we ourselves will not change our mind. We just won't do it. We will not change our mind from the lethargic bad way to that which is good. And so things are they're literally going from bad to worse. And listen, how many years have I been hollering and screaming for us to get out of these cities? Now, the reality of that is not going to hit us until, y'all forbid, one of those stray bullets hit either your son or daughter, your niece or nephew, and kill them innocently. That's sad. That's really, truly sad. I pray that it never happens, but every single day, some little innocent child is riding a tricycle or a bicycle down the road and they're getting hit by stray bullets. And the only thing we can do is cry, mourn, have a funeral, and bury them. Because nobody wants to take the responsibility and the necessary steps that needs to be taken in order to affect change. Nobody does. And of course, the only change that there is change you can believe in, which is come out of her, my people, and come out from among them. That's the only change. That's the only reality for those of us who are set apart and who are the ecclesia, who are the called out ones. That's the only reality for us. And I hope and pray, I truly do, I hope and pray that we all can get it. I do. I hope and pray we can all get it because, listen, we are forced. And I'm glad. I've been doing this for over 20-something years. I'm glad that we homeschool our children because I don't want our children growing up in the public food system learning what they're trying to cram down their throats as a reality. We deal in truth. Christopher Columbus never stepped foot in America. That's truth to us. And they're trying to, again, they keep saying, they're speaking with a forked tongue out of both sides of their necks. They don't want nobody to change the reality of things. There are certain things that are concrete, but yet and still they won't change the fabricated lies that have been crammed down our throats and necks as reality truth for all these years. And when you check and you challenge the narrative, all of a sudden something is evil and something is wrong with you because you challenge what they say. It's just sad. In the world, lying manliness men and Jezebel's lives matter. Yep. Just not the truth. Seekers in innocent babies. Those lives don't matter. Yeah, I mean, when you think about when you have a sick people that actually wants to reduce the world population of 500,000 people, that means over 7.4 billion people, you got to get up out of here. That's a lot, isn't it? I'm telling y'all, it would behoove y'all if y'all went over to my Patreon channel and listened to what I've been putting out. Man, you see, they don't want freedom of speech in America no more. They're trying to sell to us that we the land of the free and the home of the brave, but we don't feel, Americans, we over here, we don't feel free. They're trying to tell y'all in the news media and everything that we're free, but we don't feel free. We are no different than y'all countries. There's a time we said we're free, but we're not free over here. We are not free. We are very oppressed over here in America. And of course, I got some people that will take me on the chin. Of course, I would rather get on one of y'all news medias and then tell the reason why we are oppressed, which they don't want to get out. They don't want nobody to get, they don't want you to get, no, they don't want that out at all. But we can't live after the way that this world or America tell us to live. We got to separate and make our own reality. That's what we have to do. And that's the reason why it's good, if you know what you're doing, that you buy your own land, grow your own food, school your own children, raise your own family, livestock, and crops. That's when you know you're doing good. Man. I wish I could get somebody to hear me. I appreciate all the contributions. Well, the debate hadn't been determined yet. I'm going to be talking to them hopefully sometime here in the near future. But it's coming. You better believe it's coming. And I hope that everybody is going to be tuned in and listening. I don't know if we're going to broadcast it live or not, but it's going to be somewhere in that neck of the woods. It's either going to be, it's going to be in Kansas, but outside, or Missouri, but it's definitely going to be outside that wicked city. We're not going in St. Louis, Missouri. That's another wicked city. We're not going to, Nope. We're going to put it at a location that's going to be somewhat safe for people. Of course, I'm definitely going to have my security team is going to be there to make sure we're safe. Just the way it's going to be. But listen, brothers and sisters, you are responsible for your own safety. You cannot depend on the police. You can't do it. You have a Second Amendment constitutional right to keep and to bear arms. And that says, and those rights shall not be infringed. Now, what has happened is we live in a world now to where a lot of people are ignorantly touting the Constitution, quoting the Constitution, but when you get into their court systems, you've already done contracted with them, and you have signed away your rights constitutionally because you chose to live in a statutory system, a maritime system. So when you get in those court systems, especially when you see that yellow fringes around that American flag, you're in a whole total different world, whole total different country, and you're in a whole total different government. Most people don't even know that. But anytime you contract with the government, and I'm telling you, one of the worst contracts you could ever enter in is a marriage license. That is the worst thing that any man or woman can do in the United States of America. The worst you could get in. Draw up your own marriage license. Get your own family Bible. Sign your name and all that other stuff. But definitely don't do what they say. As a matter of fact, I need to make sure we expedite this. And then have a little contract, a little small piece of paper where you can have witnesses that sign it and say, it is the reality. It is who we are. And I man and I woman. And then you're married. I'm serious. Now, don't get me wrong. There's benefits to having a marriage license. The other day, I try to reach out to the NFL professionals. I try to reach out to the NBA. And most people don't want to hear it. But I'm telling you, it's crazy. 80% of the marriages where people get married in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, he's in trouble. He's in any of y'all out there that got married and you got married recently in the NFL, you're in some serious trouble. Because odds are, sometimes, I don't care if you have 8 or 9 children, you're not secure. See, if the woman can't rule the family, then she's going to leave the family and she's going to take your sweat equity. We've seen it with Kabir Bajabir-Million. He had 9 children. 8 or 9 children. And that woman lied, falsified information, and you know what? The attorneys and the lawyers, they went right along with it. You know the reason why? Money. They don't care nothing about the family unit. All they care about is money. And the Christian churches lied, couldn't stand on truth. The men are emasculated and feminine, and they couldn't stand with the man, just lied. And they let this woman just run rut shot and stuff, even though it may seem like it, but she hasn't. But boy, she loses. She gonna just give it about 10 years. We're gonna see where she's at. 10 years. 10 years. Because we in the ministries of Straightway, we have learned how to insulate and protect ourselves and our wealth. And I'm telling y'all, especially you professionals, do not get a state marriage license. And if you want to find out about a prenuptial agreement, you need to contact me. I'm telling you, I got an icon in the sport. It's in the ministry. Rob Mathis played for the Indianapolis Colts, number 98, man. He can fill you in. Save y'all a lot of heartache and pain, because chances are those women who are not submitted to you, those women who you allow for them to run about and gad about and be pride and everything, heady and high-minded, they're going to take all your sweat equity and spend it, and you're going to have an exchange of wealth in this country, because this country is all about keeping homes dysfunctional. You keep them dysfunctional, you keep them dependent on the system. So any way, shape, fashion, or form, you can get the women, the children, into the system, they don't care. And the ideal is to suppress, depress, and oppress the man. Keep him down. Keep him down and keep him submitted to the system and keep the woman rebellious so that she can continue to oppress that man and force him. And I tell you, man, when people come to straightway, I know one thing, men learn how to be men here. And that's the reason why these women are leaving their husbands, because when they figure out that they're no longer in charge no more, then guess what? They'll dissolve that marriage, showing you that they ain't never loved you, but they only loved what you could do for them. I'm going to say it again. Men are finding out today that the majority of women in this world, especially the ones they've been married to and had their children, has never, ever, ever once loved them. And her family don't love you either. Most of you're gonna find out the hard way. It's gonna be so sad. Wish you would listen, but hey, some of you got to go out there and get the stripes. Then come back later on as a guinea pig crying. I was listening to Pastor Dowell. At least he did try to tell me. I wish I'd have listened to Pastor Dowell. That's all you're going to do. Bellyache, moan, and growl. Squall and cry. That's it. It's just so sad. It really is so sad. You better not get a state marriage license and enter into a third-party non-disclosure contractual agreement with the state. It's so bad that even when you have children and you go down and you get and even if you try to get a birth certificate, they even let you know that you are a ward of the state, and that because of the marriage license, the children belong to the state. Because you enter into a polygynous married union. You, the woman, and the state. And to show you that you have no power and no strength to dissolve that marriage on your own, just between you and her, you went in contract with the beast. Guess what? You got to dissolve it by the beast. And the beast is going to make sure that they get all the money that they can. Because they don't want to pay welfare to that woman. They rather for the man to pay it. I'm telling you, man. I've been talking like this for years. It's just so sad. It really, really, truly is that bad. And family court is outside the jurisdiction of courts. They got their own law. And so you better learn how to really, truly get free and insulate yourself, because once a spirit get into these women, you professionals, I'm telling y'all, you're in trouble. Do not get a marriage. And if she can't marry you with a prenuptial agreement, and all prenuptial agreements are not ironclad. If she cannot get married to you with a prenuptial agreement signed, then you don't need to marry her. She's only after your money. You know, the same thing that Christians accuse everybody of. Only after money. They after your money. It's okay when Christianity is after your money, but it ain't okay when you come to truth and then you decide you want to give without them badgering you and putting a guilt trip on you, trying to make you think that you need to give to that bag with holes. Wow. Even when I was young, I was thinking myself, I said, where is the pastors and preachers the way that I am today? Where are they? Isn't it sad? Well, anyway, we talked about quite a few things here this morning. I hope that some way, somehow, is able to stimulate thought. And y'all send this video out. Y'all got permission to copy this, put this on your platform, send it all out. Tell them about Pastor Dowell so that at least people, if they are people, men and women of truth, at least they'll get an opportunity, at least one opportunity in his life to dwell in reality. So with all that said, I got plenty of things I got to do here today, this morning. Just thought I'd come in here and drop a line on y'all real quick. All right. And I'm going to say shalom, shalom, shalom. Appreciate y'all tuning in. I'll see y'all over at Patreon and maybe a few YouTube videos. Y'all have a blessed day, okay? Hallelujah. Have a blessed day. I want y'all to have a blessed day. I'll see y'all in a little bit, all right? Shabbat shalom or shalom, shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. Man, I tell you.